Now to the Alberni Valley, where there's an environmental nightmare that's finally being cleaned up. Last summer, the Tseshaht First Nation raised concerns about an abandoned tire recycling site not far from tribal lands. The tires were stacked meters high, were floating in creeks, and threatening the First Nation's fishery. And if they caught fire, they could burn for months. Fed up with waiting, the chief took action, and it seems to have worked. CTV's Scott Cunningham reports.
This was really a shocking sight.
Each footstep falls on new ground. Tires still litter this abandoned site near Port Alberni, but this is a great departure from the view 6 months ago.
All you could see was piles of tire under dirt, exposed tires, and brush, because this has been here for 20 years.
2 decades proved long enough for the nearby Tseshaht First Nation.
It's an environmental disaster for this local area.
Last summer, they contacted media and government officials. Worried about possible contamination and the risk of fire, they demanded it be cleaned. The call for help was heard.
We extracted or dug out 4,200 program tires that could be recycled.
Traction to clean the tire site came when the provincial government teamed with the First Nation, university scientists, and local business leaders. Sharing the load, they recycled thousands of small car tires and began moving industrial-sized rubber to create a future wall for the piece of Crown land.
Not only are we properly dealing with and recycling these tires, but we're going to end up with a site here that's useful for future purposes again.
Toxic seepage was a huge concern of the First Nation, but one this project has put to bed. Scientists traveled to Port Alberni from the University of Alberta, and they say this location is clean.
As the collaborative cleanup effort shifts to building the outer wall, the First Nation is making their intentions clear. When this site is environmentally viable, they want to buy it.
It has potential, and Tseshaht is always looking for where those potential opportunities are.
Talk of sales is a little early. Right now, focus remains fixed on the cleanup. But when the time comes to sell, few would argue the first bid should be given to the people who fought hard to reclaim the land. Scott Cunningham, CTV News, Port Alberni.